welcome to Hospitality on Podcast. We are today with Stephen Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer, Accor. Please, Stephen, introduce yourself for our audience.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen Taylor, and believe it or not, I've worked in hospitality, I think, since 1998. Probably dating myself a little bit, but I've worked across 4 continents, probably about 7 or 8 countries for 3 incredible groups, Starwood, Shangri-La, and now I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Accor for the last 3 years.
What path did you follow to land in a career in hospitality? Why did you choose hospitality?
I started at quite a young age, actually. So after university, I worked in the family business, actually in Egypt, selling wine and beer to hotels. So it's quite dangerous, as you can imagine, for a Scottish teenager. But somehow I survived. But from that moment, I was really drawn into the industry. And when I returned to Scotland from Egypt, I applied to work at the Sheraton Grand Edinburgh. That was just the time when the internet was kicking off. So I started and grew my career, showing hotels how to monetize the internet. And, e-commerce became digital marketing, which then became overall marketing. And I just grew into Chief Marketing Officer from there.
Could you share with us who are your mentors and models?
Early in my career, I worked with the current CEO of Kerzner, a guy called Michael Whale, and he certainly showed faith with me. I think he gave me my first 3 jobs. And what I took away from him was really to invest in youth, right? To give talent a chance. That's something certainly we do at Accor. We have the Shadow Comex, and I see the value today, but that's something I've taken with me over the last 20 years. Working with Sebastian, I think it would be wrong not to highlight Monsieur Bazin as an incredible mentor and inspiration. The way he has transformed Accor over the last 5 years has been incredible. And that's really, that transformation is what drew me to Accor and really led me to be here today. And then I think outside the industry, I find Simon Sinek. I don't know if you're aware of him. He's a kind of leadership guru, really quite inspirational. He talks about the importance of humility, of servant leadership, really making sure that you work on behalf of your team and see leadership as a privilege and an opportunity to serve. Those 3 are some that I take inspiration from in the past and then obviously from today.
Okay. What have been till now the biggest challenges in your career?
I think the biggest challenge and to date the biggest success was the rebranding of Accor. I mean, Accor is an incredibly large, complex, multi-billion-dollar organization with 300,000 employees and multiple new businesses. So to, just 2 years ago, initiate a complete new master brand strategy and then to bring that to life in 12 to 15 months was certainly the biggest challenge of my career. I don't think I've ever worked as hard in my life. It's something I'm very proud of, but also probably humble enough to recognize that there's still a lot of work still to come.
Yeah, but indeed you can be proud of it. Yeah. 12 to 15 months, it's not that much.
Yeah, a lot of sleepless nights.
Company.
Yeah.
Could you please share with us what is, according to you, Accor's DNA for hotelier?
There's a number of strengths that Accor has, but I think when you look at the geographic diversity of Accor, it really is an incredible strength versus some of our competitors. We compete against large US multinationals and now increasingly Chinese multinationals that have the majority of their business in the US or China. And when you look at Accor's footprint, we lead in South America, we lead in Australia, we lead in Europe, Africa, Middle East. But there's not one region which dominates the landscape and our footprint. So that means that our results are pretty versatile, but it also means that we're very close to our customers and our owners. So I think that geographic diversity is one of the key strengths.
Now that you've been working for a month so hardly to create it, what are your ambitions for all?
The ambition is to really transform the way loyalty programs operate and the way they add value in and across the hospitality industry. If you think about the way loyalty programs work today, we see on average our customers maybe only 2 or 3 times per year. Right, so we as an industry really struggle for relevance, and loyalty programs are geared towards really, really frequent travelers, people that travel 30, 40, 50, even more times a year. So the goal for the launch of All was really to build relevance and add value to consumers beyond the stay, beyond travel, and actually try and add value to locals when they're at home in their destination, not traveling, so that ultimately we become relevant every single day. So that's the big shift. And as I said, we've just started.
Do you have a planning for achieving that big ambition? Did you decide that maybe in 15 months you'll be able to touch your customers more often, or?
Yeah, so we have a roadmap, and a lot of this relies on partners as well as breaking out our internal services and experiences to be more targeted to locals. So an example of that is, we're making our restaurants and bars more accessible to locals when they're at home. So you can earn points and redeem points when you're not staying in the hotel. So that's one way in which we're taking existing services and facilities that have traditionally been used to target guests and actually now targeting them at locals. Another way, as I said, is through partnerships. So this could be through mobility. So integrating the likes of Uber, Grab, which we've just announced recently, and giving our guests the ability to book that and earn and redeem points within the All ecosystem. It could be content partners, as an example, like Netflix or Disney Plus. So it could be many different ways, but partnerships are going to fulfill a very important role of broadening this ecosystem and trying to build, I would say, a walled garden of value around our customers that, again, makes us relevant every day.
How do you manage 39 brands currently? And I'm guessing it's going to be wider even more.
Oh, it's a privilege. It really is. Listen, I believe, and feel free to disagree, but the hospitality industry is going through a period of mass consolidation, very similar to what we saw with the online travel agencies maybe 10 years ago. Previously, there were 10, 15 large online travel agencies. And I think you were seeing the same external factors driving consolidation. So, increasing costs of distribution are certainly driving more independent hoteliers to join large groups like Accor to drive more business direct. And then increasingly consumers are expecting more choice. So it is no longer, as a large multinational, feasible to only offer 9 brands, because consumers are going to booking.com, they're going to Expedia, and they're looking for 30, 40 different brands. So they want choice. So we're certainly giving them that. And I think as long as a brand is well defined, has a strong value proposition to the consumer, and is differentiated, then it has a place in our portfolio. So yes, we will grow our brands beyond 39. And watch this space.
So, coming back to your early qualification, talking about digital, because there are now many tools and possibility. How does Accor implement those tools within the company? How do you use it? How do you want to develop it?
I think digital, first and foremost, gives us the ability to consolidate guest preferences and to cascade relevant information across all touchpoints. So ultimately, we view digital as an incredible way of adding value through personalization. I think historically, the industry has been very, very challenged by legacy, fragmented technology systems. And that is still a factor that I think prevents us leading in this space when you look across industries. I mean, recently, I think it was about 9 months ago, we rolled out the AC/DC platform. So that's not an Australian rock band, but it is the Accor digital customer card. And that really acted as one, I would say, point of contact, one reference that consolidated all the information about you, so that whether you were connecting to us versus the mobile app, whether you were connecting to us via the website, whether you were actually staying in our hotels, that information was stored centrally and cascaded, so allowed us to be a lot more relevant in the content that we deliver. There's obviously a huge, I think, topic today around the privacy, data privacy. So we're very GDPR compliant, so that's a huge focus. I would say we tend to focus on the customer value exchange, which is we don't collect or store information on a customer unless we think it can in some way add value to their experience. There's many companies who have been rightfully accused and abused for storing information of customers and then selling that to third parties. So we're obviously not doing that. We're protecting our customers' information and only collecting information we think that we need to deliver value and enhance their experience.
What to you will hospitality look like within the next decades?
That's a very big question, and I do think hospitality will increasingly expand beyond the four walls of a hotel. I've described how that might look for a loyalty program, but increasingly I think strong brands, individual brands like Sofitel, Raffles, Orient Express will actually expand beyond hotels. Yeah. And I think areas like travel, mobility, could be air travel, so private jets, trains, could be autonomous vehicles. I think there's a great opportunity for actually strong hospitality brands to deliver that same level of experience that we do in the hotels, but actually expand into, in particular, the travel space. So that's my prediction for, let's say 5-10 years. We'll see if it happens.
Okay. We'll take the bet. Thank you very much, Stephen Taylor, for this moment together.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Pleasure.